Okay. We in the building. Tory Lanez lawyers are going live, and they're speaking about the situation with him, and he's been stabbed 14 times. Let's just call it what it is, right? We know this man has been hit 14 times. Probably shouldn't even be in there. I want to get into what the press conference was about. If y'all checked out my video before this one, salute to you. I appreciate y'all for being in the building. It's your boy E-Oil, aka the Harlem Legend, man. Let's get right into it, man. I want to get right into this, man. Let's see what's going on here, man. This might get a little spooky, man, for Megan Thee Stallion. I gotta be real. This must be his team and everything. He got some hella lawyers. And put it in the comment section. How many of y'all think he's supposed to be free, man? I don't know. Let's figure it out.
All right, everybody. First off, my name is Caesar McDowell. I am the CEO and co-founder of Unite the People. We're a nonprofit organization that promotes social justice as well as provides affordable legal services for the underserved community here in the state of California.
Okay.
Today, we want to thank everybody for coming out, all of the press, all of the fans, everyone that's here today. We want to say thank you for coming.
Okay.
Today, we're going to hear some really, really compelling new evidence that you've never heard before. Our legal team will explain all of that to you. We will have updates on Tory Lanez, Mr. Peterson, on how he's doing.
She might be cooked, y'all.
It's really sad to see the situation that he's in. And we think it's time. Enough is enough. It's time to bring the brother home. So with that, I would like to bring up our lead consultant, Mr. Walter Roberts.
Morning. We are here today to bring to your attention some information Unite the People believes.
So this is new evidence, y'all.
Mr. Daystar Peterson's case, professionally known as Tory Lanez. Recently, we've been made aware that a member of the media, Mr. Gianno Caldwell, was working on an op-ed for the New York Post regarding Mr. Peterson's innocence. During his work on that op-ed, he became aware of some information in Unite the People's possession regarding a statement that was given to Unite the People by someone with information relevant to that case. The New York Post recently reached out to the prior district attorney, George Gaston, Megan Pete and her representatives, and Kelsey Harris and her representatives. The only party that responded last week was Megan Pete's representatives with a request for more information. A few days later, Mr. Peterson's brutally attacked in his jail cell. Unite the People represents Daystar Peterson in his appellate process.
Now listen to what he just said, y'all. Hold on, I don't think y'all got that, because listen to what he says.
Mr. Peterson's brutally attacked in his jail cell.
Hold on.
Representatives. To the prior district attorney, George Gaston.
Listen to him.
Megan Pete and her representatives, and Kelsey Harris and her representatives. The only party that responded last week was Megan Pete's representatives with a request for more information.
Then what happened?
A few days later, Mr. Peterson's brutally attacked in his jail cell.
Hold up.
Unite the
See?
People represents
Y'all
Daystar
see?
Peterson and his
Y'all see what's going on?
We filed an appellate.
Y'all see what's going on right now. Now, I said this. Listen, I said I'm not believing none of that. Oh, it came from he disrespected somebody's wife on a dance floor. Like, y'all need to stop all this, bro. Stop that, man. Like, stop that. Like, when people come to visit people, I've been up north. I've been in jails. I've been in prisons. When people come visit you, you're not focused on somebody else's visit. Like, come on, man. Come on. Did you hear what this man just said? Did you hear what he just said? I ain't insinuating nothing. Mikey B in the building, salute. I ain't insinuating nothing. Listen to what he said.
The brief and a report to Attorney George Gaston, Megan Pete and her representatives, and Kelsey Harris and her representatives.
What happened?
The only party that responded was last week was Megan Pete.
Megan Thee Stallion
with a request for more information.
And what happened?
A few days later, Mr. Peterson's brutally attacked in his jail cell.
What?
Unite the People represents Daystar Peterson in his appellate process.
Y'all keep
filed a brief and a writ of habeas corpus on his behalf.
Let's get it.
The district attorney's office has already responded. The case is fully briefed. We're just waiting for the appellate court's decision. We were willing to wait for the appellate process to play out.
Hit the like button, share the broadcast, y'all. I dropped too many times today. I ain't got no notification.
We felt it necessary to come here today to provide you with this information. It is our intention to make a request to the governor to either pardon or commute the sentence of Mr. Peterson, so that when he recovers from this attack, he's not returned to a jail cell, but that he's allowed to go home and recover.
This is sad, y'all.
Not long ago, Unite the People was approached by a gentleman named Bradley James.
And what happened?
Mr. James informed us he was working as the bodyguard and driver for Miss Kelsey Harris during Mr. Peterson's trial.
Was he?
As such, he was in close proximity and he had privy to conversations she was having with her husband and others.
And what happened?
Mr. James informed us he was not under a non-disclosure agreement or a confidentiality agreement and was free to speak with Unite the People, and that he was doing it because his conscience would not let him not speak and leave a man in prison for something he did not do.
Sad.
Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was witness to the conversation Miss Harris had, where she stated she had the gun.
What?
She fired it 3 times.
What?
Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times. In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched that gun, never fired the gun. This statement aligns with the statement of the only non-party witness to the case, Mr. Sean Kelly, who at trial testified he saw 2 women fighting.
And what
2
happened?
men break up the fight. 1 man grabbed the other one's arm. Gunshots came from the passenger side.
Sad.
Passenger side is where Miss Harris was sitting. This further iterates that Mr. Peterson did not shoot Miss Pete, did not shoot at Miss Pete, or did not assault Miss Pete.
Share the broadcast, y'all.
It's just another irregularity in a list of irregularities in this case. For example, there were 3 potential suspects in the car that night, and yet the only DNA sample was taken of Mr. Peterson.
Why nobody else sampled?
DNA was found on the gun. Why wasn't Miss Harris's DNA taken? Or was it taken and the information simply never given to the defense? Why wasn't the driver of the car, Mr. Jaquan Smith's DNA taken? Or was it taken and again?
Real quick, and y'all going to tell me this is not a setup by the higher ups? Look how the case is just fumbled. You heard? Like, when do you know prosecutors not to go over the whole case? They fumbled they side. Oh no, but everything is going to be pinned on him. Y'all got to think about where these people are going. And I seen a little bit of this. Wait until they get into the lawyers. Wait until the lawyers start saying they made sure he was going to lose this case. Pay attention, y'all, because there's a lot going on here. Y'all need to really pay attention to this.
Simply not given to the defense. We don't know. It should have been taken. It is Unite the People's understanding, regular LAPD practice at a crime scene like that, anybody who's there, DNA is taken.
Facts.
Another irregularity. Why, at Ms. Harris's police interview, was a non-lawyer, non-family member record company executive allowed to participate? Highly irregular situation. Normally, we see cases, strangers are not allowed.
Why do we keep hearing record label?
In this case. All of these things point to the highly irregular nature of his trial and his conviction. It is our contention that he was wrongly convicted. And while we at first were willing to let the process play out, it is our contention now that if he is not pardoned or released promptly, he may never come out. And that would be the ultimate injustice, is that he gets killed in prison for something he did not do.
Think about it, y'all. You hear what this man is saying?
I'd like to bring up Mr. Gianno Caldwell, media member
It gets wickeder. It gets wicked. They break it all down. It gets wicked. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Welcome to Harlem Legend TV,
Thank you
y'all.
for coming today. My name is Gianno Caldwell. That is spelled Gianno.
Watch what he says. This is explosive.
I am the founder of the Caldwell Institute for Public Safety at caldwellinstitute.org. I am also a member of the press for almost a decade now. I've been looking into Daystar Peterson's case for almost 6 months now, professionally known as Tory Lanez. And after reviewing the evidence, the reporting, and the legal analysis, I've come to the conclusion that Tory Lanez was railroaded by the former district attorney, George Gascon. He was also wrongly convicted. I believe if Jesus Christ was Tory Lanez's attorney, George Gascon would do whatever in his power to ensure that Tory Lanez lost that case.
Did you hear what he just said? Did y'all hear what he just said? This is what Roc Nation tried to give him. That's the lawyer for them. Listen to what this man just said. Listen to what he said. I don't think y'all paying attention.
Was railroaded by the former district attorney, George Gascon. He was also wrongly convicted. I believe if Jesus Christ was Tory Lanez's attorney, George Gascon would do whatever in his power to ensure that Tory Lanez lost that case. Tory Lanez's defense team have alleged the withholding of exculpatory evidence, prosecutorial misconduct, among other issues that I was compelled to write an opinion piece for the New York Post. It is true that last week, the New York Post editors reached out to 3 parties, one being George Gascon, Megan Pete's team, and Kelsey Harris. It is also true that Megan's team was the only ones that responded back for that request for comment.
Hit the like button, y'all. It's free.
I had some glaring questions, and that was the reason for this op-ed. Things didn't make any sense to me.
Listen to what he's saying.
Issues in this case. And I was shocked by the lack of interest from the media to ask very simple questions. There were multiple people with gunshot residue on their hands that night. Why didn't all individuals have the residue tested, their DNA tested on the weapon? That's a legitimate question. According to the prosecution, Tory was excluded from the clip of the gun. And according to Tory's defense team, they said DNA analysis showed that there was a 0.01% chance that Tory touched the actual gun itself.
He never even touched the weapon.
Another piece that stood out to me, the call that the prosecution alleged.
Hold on. I don't think y'all getting what he just said. They said that he never even touched the weapon. How is this even possible? He never touched the weapon. So how is he the one that fired? It don't make sense, y'all. Pay attention to this, yo. It's crazy. Somebody's going to be on the hook for this. I'm telling y'all what it is. There's a higher power here, a higher level that wants him out the way. Them NFTs made them boys mad. Yeah, them NFTs, shit. Fuck y'all think this is? It's the record, this is the industry. Believe it or not, I'm looking at the Diddy trial right now, right? Not to get sidetracked. I'm looking at the Diddy trial right now, and I've yet to see evidence of him sex trafficking and doing every racketeering, and all I hear is abuse. It's like a relationship, 10 years with this woman. I'm yet to hear anything. I'm telling you, it's the industry that's doing it to Diddy. They wanted him out the way. How many times we got to keep on saying? I'm just being honest. I don't see nothing. I see domestic abuse. That's what I see Diddy doing. He's freaky. He's super, super freaky. Yeah, Cassie was with it. No, we ain't going to keep playing them games. She was with it. She was asking the escort because he looked at he made her look crazy. He got on the stand and said, no, she asked me to urinate in, you know what it is. Yellow Kool-Aid. Yeah, yellow Kool-Aid is what we gonna call. You told me the yellow Kool-Aid. You like drinking yellow Kool-Aid. Yeah, so we gotta be honest here, y'all. It's the higher powers doing this. They want Tory out the way. Let's get into it. This guy's breaking it down.
Tory made confessing to a crime. I listened to that call. I'm sure many of you have as well. I didn't hear a confession. But what really shocked me about it is if my best friend was shot maliciously by someone just 2 or 3 hours before, I wouldn't have answered the call, or if I did, I wouldn't calmly have a conversation with the individual of it. And certainly I would ask, why did you shoot my friend? And more importantly, I would never have given you my current location out of fear of you finishing the job. That was something
that's wow. It's wow. Listen to what he's saying.
Also, in my op-ed, discussed Kelsey Harris pleading the Fifth Amendment. She wasn't accused of anything by Megan Pete or the police, and to my knowledge, she wasn't under any investigation.
And pled the Fifth.
So why plead the Fifth? What also shocked me is the prosecution gave her immunity. For what? What did she do? Is there an allegation of her doing something? I'm not aware of that. Maybe some of you can answer that question today. During the time of trial, George Gascon, just to take you back to where we were at that particular point,
let's get it.
He had just barely won a recall attempt. He lost support in many key demographics of voters. Crime was up in Los Angeles County. And this case would have been a silver bullet for him potentially winning.
Crazy.
His policies obviously were bad and people were harmed. So that didn't happen, and thank God it didn't happen.
He went down on politics.
Is the misuse of gun enhancement charges, a sentencing tool intended for the most dangerous and violent offenders. In Tory Lanez case, these enhancements were not supported by evidence. But George Gascon
gave him enhancements.
Who is someone who regularly would drop enhancements or not recommend them.
That's railroaded to the third power, y'all. You heard? So enhancements gave him more time. You understand? That's what that is, y'all. In Tory Lanez case, he's not supposed to even have enhancements, but it gave him more time. Let's not forget, he went to trial. He didn't plead guilty. He went to trial and lost. So of course they was going to hit him with the book. Chose
to provide enhancements to Tory, and in his case, in any given situation, according to legal analysts I've spoken with, he would do 1 or 3 years if he did it without the enhancement.
Supposed to have been the initial sentence.
Interesting. Why did George Gascon choose to pursue these enhancements?
For political reasons.
Cases I've been looking through, which George Gascon has
got more time for political reasons,
which he utilized these enhancements. A couple come to mind that I would like to reference here. One, Raymond Danger Gonzalez, a Mexican mafia gang member involved in a premeditated murder of 2 young men in 2017.
What?
Despite the brutality of the crime, Gascon didn't recommend enhancements.
Hold on. So he recommends, this is the politics behind it. At the time, all the politics is kicking off in LA. Probably got that Roc Nation call. Allegedly. Allegedly. Yeah, allegedly. Oh, don't worry about it. I'll get you reelected. This is what goes on. See, a lot of y'all don't even understand it. We are lost. Y'all are just too much of fans. We are lost. Y'all don't even get it. He got that call from Jigga, my nigga, allegedly. Oh, we get you reelected. Go ahead and enhance that man charges. We need to make sure he stay behind there as much as possible. He ain't trying to sign with us. We got him. And then he's in jail dropping hit records. He's in jail going #1. Oh, you tried to slap us in our face. Allegedly. See, I ain't say it. They said it. Y'all quick to blame me like I'm the one I ain't say it. Oh, Harlem Legend, you just a conspiracy theory. No, I'm not. I didn't say this. They saying that they alluding to what's going on here. Yeah, that man was tricked.
And another individual, brutal crime. Why would you?
Yeah, why would you let that man go? He's brutal
for Tory. That doesn't make a lot of sense. He also didn't pursue sentencing enhancements for the senseless murder of General Hospital
murders.
Johnny
this
Whitmer
was
in Los Angeles,
not even a
2024. There's a lot of issues with this case. Many, I think, that the media should be pursuing all angles of it. We should not allow there to be unanswered questions. We should pursue open questions without fear or favor to anyone.
It's called silence media, y'all.
Mr. Tory Lanez. In his letter from the Birmingham jail, Dr. Martin Luther King wrote, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. If we take those words seriously, we must act when injustice is allowed to fester in plain sight. I founded the Caldwell Institute for Public Safety after my innocent teenage brother was murdered in Chicago on June 24, 2022. I stand firmly for public safety, for victims' rights, and for holding criminals accountable. But justice also demands that we protect the innocent and stand against politically motivated prosecutions. This is what I believe to happen here. When we imprison the innocent while violent offenders walk free, which is what Judge Gascon has often done, we undermine the very foundation of our legal system. Mr. Peterson was never given a fair trial, free from bias, political interference, and media-driven pressure. His continued incarceration erodes public trust and diverts focus from the real work of keeping our community safe. Further, while incarcerated, Mr. Peterson was recently stabbed in prison, as many of you know, a tragic incident.
And they tried to take his life.
The urgency of this situation.
Yeah, I'm starting to think. Whoever that dude is, said, "Yeah, you see, he's going viral now. Oh, it was on a visit, and he was trying to get at Tory Lanez was trying to get at somebody's girl. He was over flirty, and man, shut up. I gotta be real. Shut up. First of all, the man is in there for killing his ex 13-year-old girlfriend, right? I want to know what kind of visits he getting. Now, we do have women out there that, you know, they extra online thirsty pen pals. They don't look all that fabulous. I'm just being honest. Tory Lanez has been with the best of them. Think about it. Some of you guys' dreams. Oh, but he on a visit flirting with this man's girl? Really? You could have came better than that, homie. I'm just being honest. Like, I don't believe that guy. Y'all just take anything and run with it. Yeah, he did it. Yeah. No, he was messing with somebody's girl on the visit. What? This dude was in jail doing life as on some pedophile type jump off. Yeah, the only girlfriend he gonna have is a pen pal. You know, the ones that be thirsty. Yeah, they respectfully, they 450, 500. You heard? Missing a 2 for 2, 3, 4 in the front. Let's call it what it is, dog. Like, come on. Because any woman that values themselves, they're not even on these kind of apps and looking for dudes that's locked up doing life. Let's be real. So you mean to tell me Tory Lanez wasted time doing that? No, that's not what happened, bro. Stop feeding the people lies, homie. Come on, cut that out, man. Cut that out. It sounds good because he's Mexican, so it sounds good, but hey, whatever. Believe what y'all want.
Governor Newsom, I respectfully urge you to issue a pardon for Daystar Peterson, known as Tory Lanez, in a full and impartial review of his case. California must not be a state where justice is driven by headlines instead of evidence.
And that's basically what convicted Tory, headlines.
That was often the case. So I encourage everyone here to go to caldwellinstitute.org, CALDWELL, Institute, INSTITUTE.org, and sign the petition. This petition asks for the governor to pardon Tory Lanez. Thank you.
Go support, y'all, man. Make sure y'all go support. They got all this evidence they saying. Go support, man. That man got railroaded.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here. I know there's a lot of noise in the media going on with other stories, but I think that this is one of the most important stories happening right now today regarding our Justice Department.
Let's talk about it.
My name is Diana London. I'm the CEO of the Secret Weapon Agency, which is a crisis communication firm. And I'm also the CEO of a company called London Global Strategies. I am a member of the media as well. I'm a commentator on a few networks. And I also serve as an advisor for Giano's Institute and also another company called Promising People that is fighting to reduce the recidivism rate in this country and also to correct our criminal justice laws.
Okay, she has credentials.
As a woman who has worked in Congress on criminal justice reform, I deeply believe in law and order. I've worked alongside law enforcement. I've drafted policy to reduce violent crime. I've seen
Let us know why you here. Hey, now I always say that.
The legal system.
Always say that. You got all these white people coming in here. Let us know why you here. Let's be honest. She's breaking it down. She's giving us her credentials. I always say that now. Let us know what you here for. What's your credentials? What you know about this? Hey now. Salute to her now. I ain't shit.
Is no justice at all. When we get it wrong, when our courts fail the people they're meant to protect, we don't just ruin lives. We erode trust in the rule of law itself. That's why I'm speaking out today for Daystar Peterson, better known to the world as Tory Lanez. This isn't about fame. It isn't about celebrity. It's about fairness. Tory Lanez doesn't want special treatment. He's demanding equal treatment. And if we Americans still believe in a system where guilty must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, then we must admit this case raises serious concerns. Because the truth is, Tory Lanez is serving a 10-year sentence for a crime that evidence, which laid out here today, overwhelmingly suggests he did not commit. Let's go back to the night in question, just like Gianna was just talking about in the attorneys. As the attorneys laid out here today, the prosecution failed to produce a single shred of forensic evidence tying Tory to the actual gun. His fingerprints weren't on it. His DNA was later found to be 100% nearly excluded from the gun, as shown in the worksheet.
And he got convicted of shooting Megan Thee Stallion?
On the eve of the
that's crazy. How?
After making a request
the judge was paid
for that
off.
Very document. After trial, looking at this evidence,
hold on, real quick, y'all, real quick. I need y'all to really think about that, right? Really think about that, right? Really, really, really think about that. They have no evidence of him even touching that gun. How were you convicted of this? Add it up. I'm just being real. Like, you convicted of shooting Megan Thee Stallion in the foot. But there is no evidence, 100% excluding me from touching that gun. Does that make sense? The judge was paid, y'all. It's a higher power paying for all of this. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, y'all. Subscribe. Make sure you set your bell notifications, man, so you know when I'm dropping a video or going live. Support the videos, support the live. We're gonna be going, man. And I'm gonna get my mods back in order real soon, y'all. Trust me. I'm gonna get the mods back in order real soon. I've been just catching up. I ain't got no more mods. I got y'all though. That's a fact.
Chance Tory's DNA was on the firearm. That's a difficult statistic to equate with the story as told by the prosecution, which may be why this was not present in trial. In fact, there were 3 people that night at the scene who tested positive for gunshot residues.
Crazy.
One of those was Kelsey Harris, as Gianno mentioned, the assistant to Megan Pete. According to multiple sworn testaments that you've heard today, including one from the bodyguard and driver with Harris on the 2 days of the trial, Harris admitted to firing the weapon during an emotional outburst. Tory intervened to de-escalate, not to harm. It is important to note, the police did not fingerprint anyone else who had gunshot residue
It's
on
crazy,
that
y'all.
night, only Tory. Why? Even more troubling, the investigation itself was a disaster. Bullet fragments disappeared. The gun serial number was sealed. A move that blocked the defense from investigating.
Damn, he powerful, yo. That nation is
to follow
powerful.
standard procedures. Why? Didn't mark shell casings on the road and didn't test others involved that night with DNA. This wasn't justice. It was a rush to judgment. Worse still, the prosecution knew the case was thin. So what did they do? They tacked on gun enhancements, just like they spoke about.
To make him get
the charges. These gun enhancements are meant for gang shootouts and armed robbery.
Yeah, gangs and all of that.
Charges and turn a flimsy accusation into a decade-long prison sentence. Enhancements are a powerful tool against violent offenders, but using them in a case with no forensic evidence, murky testimony, and the defendant with no criminal history.
Think about it. You've never been arrested.
He had no criminal history.
Never even been arrested.
That's a political stunt. Let's be blunt. This prosecution had everything to do with headlines and very little to do with truth. It was about symbolism, not substance. And that should concern every single one of you here today and in this country. Because when the facts take a back seat to identity, when due process is sacrificed for public spectacle, we all lose. Just yesterday, a Los Angeles court ruled the Menendez brothers, who brutally murdered their parents, are now eligible for parole after serving 35 years. They admitted to the crime.
They got out.
Tory Lanez killed no one and has still remained innocent today, whose case is riddled with inconsistencies and prosecutorial failures, is expected to serve a decade. How is that justice? I've worked in federal criminal justice policy. I helped pass the First Step Act during President Trump's first term. I've spent years focusing on ending recidivism, building rehabilitation pipelines, and protecting the innocent from institutional overreach. I didn't fight for reform just to see the system weaponized against someone because he's famous or inconvenient. And let's be clear. If a high-profile Black man with no prior violent convictions can be railroaded this easily, what hope is it for the everyday American who lacks his resources? Some people may want
to think about that, y'all. Think about that. Tory got some bread. Tory actually has some money. You heard he has some shmoolah. So think about it. If he can get railroaded like this, what you think the average nigga like me, you, that's day to day, paying bills and doing what we got to do to get through, what you think is happening to dudes like us? If they want you, they will get you. That's a fact.
But as a conservative, we are a movement that claims to care about over-criminalization, prosecutorial abuse, and restoring faith in American institutions. Well, here it is, laid bare in front of you. The prosecution manipulated the narrative. They buried key facts. They
Talk
got
to
the
'em,
conviction
girl.
they wanted, but not the truth we all deserve.
Sad.
As Giano mentioned, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. warned us that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice.
We got to stop that right there. Hold on. So she quoting Dr. Martin Luther King? I don't know, y'all. I don't know, y'all. She quoting Dr. Martin Luther King. Yeah, what the hell going on? Yeah. Yeah, she been, hey now. Hey now. Yeah, that black is in her. Yeah, what? Did I say something wrong? Look, man. Yeah, black, yeah, hey now, she might be fighting to get him out for a different reason. I'm just being real. Hey now. Hey, look, y'all. Hold up, quote it again.
Truth we all deserve. As Giano mentioned, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. warned us that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
So,
And this case proves it. If we let this stand, if we accept a conviction based on emotion rather than evidence, we abandon the very foundation of our system, that all men are innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
well, that's what the
timing
all go by.
of these events
That shit
raise
never works.
disturbing questions to me, and I think they all should to you as well. After over 2 years in prison, without incident, Tory was stabbed 14 times just days after a major national news outlet reached out to Megan Pete's team.
Listen to that again. See, and I'm the one with the conspiracies and no. See, so we got the people saying it, not me. This is the second person that got up there. Okay, this is the second person that's insinuating, right? Come on, man. Come. Listen what she about to say. She's saying, listen, y'all.
Tory was stabbed 14 times just days after a major national news outlet reached out to Megan Pete's team,
Megan Thee Stallion,
Harris, and former DA George Gascon about a story on new evidence in this case. You don't have to believe in conspiracies to see.
You don't have to. Tell everybody stop doing that, man. Y'all get on my nerves, B. When I be making these videos and crafting these videos, this is why I be telling y'all, hit the like button, support a real nigga, man. Because I'm going to tell you where the hit really coming from. I'm going to tell you what's really going on. I'm going to tell you what they don't want y'all to even know. Yeah, there's paid media out here, y'all. Them bigger publications, they pay these medias not to speak about certain shit, to keep certain shit out the goddamn eyes of us. I'm looking beyond. Oh, people just saying, oh, this is just regular jail situation. This is what just regular happens in prison. Yes, it does. But to a Tory Lanez, a dude that he got status because he got the bag. He protect him at all costs. He has the bag. No, somebody sent a bigger bag. Somebody sent a bag that was going to get him out the way. Y'all got to stop this, man. I ain't the only one saying this. She's saying it. Hold on, let's bring this back. Let the white lady go ahead and talk.
Incident. Tory was stabbed 14 times just days after a major national news outlet reached out to Megan.
Real quick, Facts in the building. Salute to my battle Facts. Facts Nation. Make sure y'all go over and subscribe to Facts Nation, y'all. If y'all want real talk, you heard? Like he's gonna be changing over real soon, y'all. So y'all gotta get and get it while it's hot. Yeah, y'all got to jump in. No Diddy, because Diddy's out of pocket right now. Yeah, hey. Diddy doing all kind of stuff. Hey, look now. I said what I said. Go on over to Facts Nation 6, Black Collar TV. Make sure y'all subscribe. Salute. My Battle Facts in the building, man. And we're going to be switching. It ain't just battle rap. He's doing celebrity gun. I'll be pulling up over there. Y'all already know what it is. We're about to turn up, man. Pay attention to what's going on, y'all. It's going to get disgusting.
C. Harris and former DA George Gascon about a story on new evidence in this case. You don't have to believe in conspiracies to see the pattern. When evidence was about to come to light, Tory was nearly killed. So let's stop pretending this is complicated. Let's stop treating this like some cultural war flashpoint.
Facts.
This is about a man, a father, a son, Daystar Peterson, who has sat in a prison cell for over a year based on a case that wouldn't pass the smell test in any honest courtroom. The prison system can no longer guarantee his safety. And that alone should be grounds for immediate action. But combine that with the overwhelming evidence of a botched investigation, and this becomes not just a legal issue, but a morale emergency. Tory Lanez deserves a new trial. He deserves due process. He deserves a pardon. And if justice still matters in America, he deserves to go home. So what now? What do we do now? We're all here today. We are calling on Governor Gavin Newsom, the California.
Man, they presented some real strong evidence,
and
y'all.
the public at large to act. If you believe in due process, sign the petition now on the Caldwell Institute page that Gianna Caldwell mentioned at change.org. Let your voice be counted. Let the system know that we see what's happening.
How many of y'all actually gonna go out there and support?
We can't be a nation
they
that
just told y'all right here the evidence they
have.
have.
Other way when a man is buried beneath the weight of political motivated prosecution. Dr. King said again, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. This is that threat in modern day time. This is that moment. Daystar Peterson deserves to go home today.
Yeah, read. They said a lot. Make sure y'all rewind this.
To bring him home.
Rewind is more to find. Make sure y'all rewind. Rewind is more to find.
Good morning, everybody.
Go with father. He said it before.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming out and lending your cameras to the world. We appreciate you being here. My name is Sunstar Peterson, well known as the father of Tory Lanez, but his family affectionately knows him as Daystar.
Remember his statement, y'all. He the one came out and said,
"This may seem
Nation is
not even
behind
to
it."
matter today, but it does to me. The reason why he bears the name Daystar is because I was scheduled to speak in a conference in Washington, D.C. back in the early 2000s. Back in the late 90s. My wife and I stayed in a hotel across the river in Northern Virginia. I was up praying before that conference that I was supposed to speak at that evening. As I paced back and forth in my hotel suite praying, I began to quote the scripture from 2 Peter chapter 1, and it states, "For you will do well to take heed as unto a light shining in a dark place, until the day dawns and the day star arises in your heart." I didn't know whether it was a boy or girl in my late wife's womb, but I heard the Holy Spirit said to me, that is the name of your child. That's why he bears that name today. Now we're standing in the United States of America, land of the free and the home of the brave. I have watched from afar, being a Canadian. I have watched as presidents innumerable and other officials place their hand on the Bible and swear a sacred oath to uphold justice.
Talk to him.
To uphold truth, because that's what justice demands. So before I go any further, based on a courtroom that I stood in 508 days or so ago and heard my son convicted, is a court in the federal reality of things that also holds the Bible higher than judges. And so I'm going to pray a very short prayer before I get started here today. I'm going to pray that in the spirit of when Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God, stood before Pontius Pilate. Pontius said, "Why do you not speak? Do you not know that I have the power to crucify you or to let you go free?" It was the only one of the times that Jesus ever spoke. He said, "You would not have power over me unless God Almighty gave it to you today. And I have come to bear witness of the truth." Upon which Pontius Pilate replied, "What is truth?" That question was never answered in Pilate's judgment hall. But I answer it for you today because Jesus Christ himself told us what the truth was. Truth is not a philosophy. It's not an ideology. It's not a doctrine. And it certainly is not a religion. Truth is a person. His name is Jesus Christ, who said, "I am the way, the truth that leads you to life." Father, upon the basis of your word today that this nation was founded upon, I ask that every ear that needs to be opened, including the ear of the governor of the state of California, Gavin Newsom, I'm even asking today that in the midst of Mr. Trump's busy schedule as president of the United States, that this would come into his hearing. And so, Father, I ask you today, by your spirit, because you're the only reason why my son is yet alive, have your way.
Talk to him.
And let this be glorifying your name. I thank you for it in Jesus' name.
Amen.
So my name is Sunstar Carlisle Peterson. I come to you today in the capacity of an apostle of Jesus Christ. A word from the first century in our times, it would simply mean ambassador of Christ. So when I stand before you, I don't stand here to speak my own words. I represent a kingdom and I am under authority to speak only what God allows. First and foremost, I really do want to thank you again, the press corps, and all of you who have vlogs and channels on YouTube or wherever you stream from. Thank you so much for being here. I would like to thank, in fact, all of those who identify with the name Umbrella as One Umbrella. It was actually launched so that my family would not just be the ones benefiting from whatever fame or fortune, but so that all people, always, anywhere that need a shelter could come under that umbrella. That's the reason why it was launched.
Get the lights up, share the broadcast,
initially, who is known as Wolfgang Peterson. So I thank all of you who have always been an encouragement to us, who have stood with us. Those of you standing here today with free Tory t-shirts. Jono, can I have that t-shirt right there, please? Those of you who are wearing these and remembering this person, because I want you to understand that from the beginning of this, I stood as far back as 2021, and I watched where a spin doctor for the NBA, now high-powered attorney out of New York, Alex Spiro, ran a campaign to turn my son into a monster in the eyes of the world. At that point in time, God said to us, there is a time to be silent and there's a time to speak. We chose to be silent. And now we've been silent for way too long.
This is wild.
The hour demands that we speak. One of the reasons why I stood silent is because I trusted in God, but I also did not want any blowback to affect my son, who was sitting in the belly of the beast. That's why I chose not to speak at that time. I am his father, and that is the second capacity in which I stand before you today as the spokesperson and mouthpiece for my family. Tory has 7 brothers and sisters. He has 5 brothers. He makes up the 5, I'm sorry, and there are 3 sisters. So today I would like to share a few things with you as well. I want to dispel a few rumors.
Long-winded as hell, but I understand. His son just got stabbed 14 times, y'all. Like, you know what I mean?
Number 1.
I understand.
Daystar does not have a drinking problem. He does not have a drinking problem, and that was not the reason why this situation happened. He was not out on the yard, as it was about 6:30 in the morning, and cells were just opened for them to be able to go out to breakfast. On the Thursday prior to this incident, I was called by him, and I was told of the impending threat. And my family and I huddled and did what we always do. We prayed. We get together every single day and we pray. Sometimes it is twice per day. Wherever we are in the world, at a certain time, we're on our phones and we are praying. We pray for him. We pray for you. Because our mandate is not about violence. We're not here for vendetta. We're not here for any of those things. My son, as I stood with him in the hospital room on the first day, my wife being present, said, "Dad, I'm not holding any animosity against this guy. I don't want to take any action against him. Whatever the system does, the system does." But that is his stance, and that is our stance. Might I go a little bit further? Because this will not be the first time I've said this publicly. I bear Megan Thee Stallion no ought at all. In fact, we have prayed for her on many occasions in our times of prayer. So this monster that Alex Spiro tried to create, and when I stood in the courtroom on that day and heard a corrupt prosecutor dismiss the fact that so many people, it was overwhelming the amount of people that sent letters to their office and were called to testify before the courts as they were considering sentence, which had already been decided. And the judge blatantly showed on that day that it really didn't matter what anybody said. It was supposed to be a forum in which it would be decided based on all the extenuating circumstances, etc. But it had already been decided behind closed doors.
Facts.
It's so funny that there is indeed a woman who has made it her life's mission to be the whip in the press or on the vlogs. I'm not even going to call her name right now, but those who know. Everything that has to do with Tory Lanez, I believe that she is in some way compensated to spread these narratives.
They paid.
And so before the sentence was
Paid
read in
media.
court, before the sentence was read in court, she already knew. That's really interesting.
Hit the like button, y'all.
She
We
already
live.
knew because she had
Share.
discussed it with others, not knowing that it would come back to us. God is my witness. So moving right along, Daystar did not suffer superficial wounds. He was stabbed 14 times, 5 times in his back, 1 under his left cheekbone. In fact, his jaw was open.
Damn.
He was stabbed twice in the back of his head, and the rest in his torso, arms, and in his
They
chest.
tried to slay him.
It may seem sensational, but
Yeah.
thankfully, like Dr. King, it was
Share, y'all. Share the broadcast.
Penetrate. After that, he was being rushed to a facility nearby in a vehicle in which he said, and I quote, "Dad, I thought it was my last. And having made my peace with God, I said, okay, God, is this how it's supposed to end for me?" But God said no. God told him, "Do not give up," in the car, upon which he turned to the attending officers and he said, "You must get me to wherever is the closest place that I can get to. I'm bleeding out here." My boat, he didn't even know his lungs had collapsed. All he knows is that he couldn't breathe. He could hardly speak. Upon which the officer turned around and looked at him and said, "Nah, we got to take him. He has to be airlifted." And thankfully, to God be the glory, he was airlifted. I want to report to you that I am very thankful to all of the attending nurses, doctors in that facility. They have done an amazing job in their professional capacity. I would also like to publicly say thank you to the COs, the correctional officers that we have seen around him. In fact, these guys have been nothing but kind to him. The system is one thing, but guess what? There are people who work in the system, and some of them still have hearts. Some of them still have a conscience.
Fact.
So as I'm winding down today, I would like to report to all of you who care about Daystar Peterson, the artist Tory Lanez, around the world. The reports in the hospital is that he is doing remarkably well. I was told yesterday, because they had already taken out the tubes that were draining the fluids from his lungs, they had already taken them out by the time my wife and I got there. And I was told by the nurse, in his particular condition, normally he would have, they would have had to leave those tubes in at least a couple more days. But yesterday they
14
took him out
times, Joe.
because they said he is
You might just shoot me in the head.
remarkably. All that is left is for the healing of the wounds. So thank you for all the prayers that have gone up sincerely on behalf of Daystar and my family. We are truly grateful. But this is not over. So I'm reaching out to every prayer warrior around the world who knows what Christ stands for. Please continue to stand with us. As I stated before, Daystar was not drunk on that morning. It was 6:30 in the morning. It was nothing like that. It was an unprovoked attack. I don't want to go into the details of how it went, although I know them, because it is too gory to be describing right now. And so as I close today, whatever has been needed to be said has been said. So as I close, I want to quote you David, the king of Israel.
This is wild.
Who said, "You lead me beside still waters and you restore my soul. You lead me in the path of righteousness for your name's sake. And even if I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil."
It's actually live right now. It's live right now, y'all. It's like probably I'm probably 5-6 minutes behind.
Be so proud of your boy. He has been in here and he has been praying. I got there to the hospital the first day, and typical Daystar, he was entertaining those officers. They were laughing. They were just.
And if y'all go back, y'all going to see they presented evidence that he never even touched the gun.
When towards the end of our visit, he said,
"There's no evidence of him ever touching the gun."
Why is it that my life has to go through?
And they insinuating Roc Nation is behind it. And political stands. It was political, and they saying Roc Nation's actually behind it.
That's the note that
That's what they saying.
To tell you,
after she reached out to Megan Thee Stallion's lawyers, you heard? Hold on.
that they were so scared.
After they reached out, two different lawyers got up there, two different major figures in his team got up there and said after they reached out to Megan Thee Stallion, they reached out to everybody, these outlets, letting everybody know we got new evidence. We're going to present it to y'all. We're going to present it to everybody. After they did that, they saying he got hit. This is what they say. And they made sure they put emphasis on it. Make sure y'all go back and go check it out and see what they saying, y'all.
When all of those testimonies came in, people I did not even know that he had secretly done things for. This is like a guy, he would do things and not even tell anybody. And one young lady called me and said, I was struggling. I was diagnosed bipolar. I was struggling. My children said, your son offered to pay my rent for 1 year while I could recover. The prosecution at the trial, when all of those testimonies came in and said, oh my God, you think that we were here to hand out the Nobel Peace Prize? And that's how he dismissed it. But as I said on the court steps that day, God records all of it. And I know that my son will have justice.
Facts.
I lastly would like to reach out via this medium to say to the governor of the state of California, sir, it is in your hand to do something about this. You have the power and the means to examine the evidence that has been presented even to the courts. This is a travesty of justice. And to allow my son to go back into that same situation, a kid that when he went to prison, one of the things he has done so far is through his music to open up the cases of over 467 people through his Hands of God project to help families who can't even pay for justice on behalf of their loved ones. There was a post showed up on YouTube recently, a young man saying, I'd like to thank Tory Lanez. I would like to thank Unite the People. I'd like to thank all of them for allowing me to be able to be taken off of 4 life sentences. 4. I'm sorry? Plus, like, I don't even understand that kind of math. How do you say to a human being whose lifespan is 70, 80, plus 74 years, 4 life sentences plus 74. This is who Daystar is, not what they've tried to make you think he is. He never stops seeking to help people, even from behind the prison walls. Governor Newsom, you have the power to bring my son home.
So did, Soldier. I've been saying that. And the lawyers are saying this though now. They're insinuating. I didn't say they saying it.
Family man.
This is his father speaking now, but if you go back in the video and look at what the lawyer, I rewinded it several times. The lawyers are insinuating what's going on here.
Would you think that this man should be free because he's innocent?
When you look at the evidence.
I hope you do. And I hope you do what you need to do. God bless you all. Thank you so much for being patient with me.
All right, next. First, I want to say if you have a loved one that's incarcerated in the state of California, and
that's enough right there, man. Yo, look, man, I got to be real. If you go back in the video and you pay attention to what his lawyers is actually saying, I appreciate everybody in the building. Make sure you smash that like button. She and he is definitely saying they looking at Roc Nation and political. They saying it was political, but they also looking at they sent out letters to Megan Thee Stallion's team. They the only ones that responded 2 days later. Bow. It's just the way they was insinuating it. Let's call it what it is. It's the way they was insinuating it. So I don't know. I'm calling foul play too, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I'm calling foul play. I'm not even here to even sugarcoat nothing with y'all. I'm calling this foul play. This is foul play at all-time high. You caught the umbrella joint that the pop said. Y'all got to catch all of this. They throwing subliminals, but they letting it be known that, yeah, y'all railroad my son. They know, yo, They know it was the Roc behind it, dog, and it was political stance behind it. They enhanced his charges when it's his first time ever being in trouble. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. So we know it's something big at play here. Like I said, I appreciate everybody that pulled up in the building. We're going to start dropping content after content, going live more, going everything. So please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you set your bell notification so you know when I'm dropping a video, man. It's your boy E Oil, a.k.a. the Harlem Legend, man. Stay tuned. Go support the videos, y'all. Salute.